And we're live. Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to address real quick, um, kind of the thought process that's very common that I saw on the timeline. It's very common, but it's amplified by larger content creators, and it's a very dangerous way of thinking because it sets you back mentally as a guy, especially in the dating market. And that's this whole thing where you think that you need to slut shame women, um, and you know, from from what I've seen over the last couple years. Uh, Men don't really like hypergamy. They don't see it as a benefit to them. They think it's something new that got created. They think it's something that feminism downloaded into women's brains. They think it's evil. They attach morality to women's innate nature. Here in the Red Pill, we seek to illuminate people by telling them, hey, hypergamy has always been around. Um, Hypergamy has two sides. It isn't who has the most money or who has the nicest physique or who's even the most charming, right? Hypergamy has two sides. It's the alpha and the beta, right? The alpha is fun, hot, exciting, and then the beta is a good investment for parenthood. Like he's gonna stay around if he has my kid or if I have his kid. So that hypergamy already has enough misconceptions that guys just don't want to really explain to themselves. They really want the explanation for, excuse me. They seriously want a girl to just like them for who they are or what they've worked for up to this point. And it can be confusing to some guys because, they've been told by gurus and people that, hey, get your money up. And then they get their money up and then they get their foot in the door now, but now they are getting played equally. Like there's no there's no way to get them to act exactly how they want. And then there's the guys that say, "Well, get your physique in shape," and then they get their physique in shape, and then same thing. And guys start questioning, like, "Is it even worth it at all?" And then guys either go black pill or something. And then, you know, for the average person, they kind of are starting to slowly understand that nice guys finish last when it comes to women, whatever that may mean to the individual. And they also kind of see firsthand because of phones and social media and the endless TikTok slop and all that stuff that we have now, kind of how what women are thinking and what women are doing and how a lot of them will get away with it. And that's ultimately the hardest thing about this is that women will get away with a lot of this stuff. Like I have mutuals that are like porn stars, right? Women that did adult films. And excuse me, sorry. I think I'm developing kind of a cold. But we have women that, and I also have this guy, you know. I don't know. Say hi, Tadashi. I also have probably like I don't have allergies, but sometimes when Tadashi's shedding, I sneeze a little bit. Maybe it's just stuff in the air. But for the most part, guys have revenge fantasies, and it's how difficult it is to tell a guy, right, that's gotten screwed over or just left out of dating, or he's just done everything right and still got screwed over, or he didn't know he was doing things wrong until it was like way into his life. To tell him that, hey, the girls that are causing you this much pain are probably gonna be fine. They're not gonna be alone in a house by themselves with cats. They're gonna have a husband and kids, maybe before you do, and maybe they might end up happier. Who knows? But guys, like we don't say these like everything we say or guys that get it say is not to make you lose hope or make you angry or innocent in response. Remember, that's the difference here. Whereas some content creators tell you things because they want you to feel something because emotion drives revenue, views, clicks, right? Yes, it's nice to have views and clicks, but the purpose of this, right, is for you to accept the truths and move on to better things like yourself, your goals, your things. Because guys get stuck here. They're like, This women did me wrong. All sluts are bad, and they get stuck there for years, angry. They throw the money that they would be throwing at girls, at sluts. They would throw it. They would throw it at guys that are trying to correct this issue, which they'll never correct it, right? What? And that's the thing here, guys. Like, what are we doing? And it's tough. Like, I get it. There's women that I see that I'm just like, wow, what a bad person. I hope she's never happy again. But then I have to stop myself and be like, is that really, do I really want that? Is it, am I that hateful as a person that I want someone to be alone for the last 40 years of their life? Like, no, I don't wish that on anybody, right? And there's a reason for that. It's because you have to accept female agency, and I've accepted that. Female agency, not only that, female hyper agency, meaning that women have a lot of power. Women have a lot of ways to move society around, right? Their physique, their beauty, plus the guilt that men feel, the innate guilt, the programming, the fear of getting ostracized, fired, canceled. Like women control a lot of what we say and do. Even if you think you're a free speech advocate, they still do in a way. For what it's worth, that's the way it is. However, that's not to say that you can't enjoy life, but it just means that you have to have a little bit more discipline and don't eat pain, right? The saying, don't eat pain, meaning don't do stuff, don't opt into your own destruction, don't do any unforced errors. Um, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. Most guys commit unforced errors, and then they, things that they're like, it shouldn't be like this, or it should be like this. I'm like, there is no should or shouldn't. It's like if you do A, B will happen, right? And they just can't get through their heads. It's just like it's not about what is moral or what is incorrect or what is right. It's simply what will happen if you do this specific thing. So a lot of there's content creators that obviously will you rage, whatever it is, rage baiting, kind of get men to trying to get men to like click based on emotion, anger, like make them feel like their voices are heard and stuff like that. And as a man talking to other men, it's just so weird to see guys wanting someone to save them, because that's ultimately what it is, except with extra steps, right? Like if we give enough money, attention, clicks, and share this message that these people are saying on the internet, then women will change, and women won't change. They don't care. They don't care. Um, and one of those content creators is HoeMath, right? Which very entertaining guy. I'm glad he's successful because he is entertaining, right? He's earned it. But at the same time, man, like some of the stuff he says are just so. Having worked with like people like Rolo and Michael Sartain, he should know better, right? But it's just how you have to think like HoeMath. How does it help people to like calls to action, right? Like let's just go to the tweet. Um, I have it here. One second, guys, because I got this little friend, this little Shiba friend on my lap. He wants all the well, I don't even know if he wants the attention. All right, so we'll blow this up. One second, guys. Okay, so if we scroll down here, blah blah blah, I think it's somewhere around here. It was yesterday. Um, I'll find it in a second. Hold on. Mm, one second, guys. It's gonna show up here eventually. I think it's this one. That one too was kind of like we're gonna discuss that one real quick, but um, here we go. The number one thing the world can fix right now is slut shaming, and it's just like, okay, all right, cool. How are we gonna fix slut shaming? So cool, smart guy. So I'm guessing he has a plan or he has like some kind of prediction or something. If women knew that they would be shunned and abandoned and lose their access to resources for being too loose, literally all of the other problems would start to heal. Just like when they put wolves back in the forest after they died out and it changed the way the rivers flowed. The wolves ate deer, which were no longer overeating plants, which then grew more and so held the soil together so the water didn't sweep away. Right. So, he's just saying chain reaction, like sort of almost like a butterfly effect where a minor change here would make major changes down the road. And it's just they think there's a lot of fundamental like kind of errors here, but I say that the number one is for the love of God and guys that get laid and understand and deal with women, whether married, single, whatever you have, understand one thing, right? Women do not care about the opinion of men they're not fucking, right? Like, what makes you think a woman somewhere in the Midwest or somewhere in New York City getting banging chads or having fun or using her sexuality to get ahead in her career or whatever she's doing, right? What's gonna make her stop? Right? Are you that charming in order for women in general to get them to stop? You think men even care about slut shaming? Right? Like, first off, exactly. Cool story, HoeMath. What you gonna do? So what are you gonna do? Right? And I know this is a stupid response. My response is kind of reductive, but it's just like, what's the plan? That's what I always ask. What's the plan? Because we're living in a world. Do you guys remember Facebook when you guys were like a lot of you guys were in college around when Facebook started and everyone became like a internet SJW or internet activist where they were like save the whales or they just attached their identity to a cause. And eventually it got so annoying and they became so annoying and they felt awesome and um there is there was nothing they did absolutely nothing for the cause, right? So it's like, okay, what did you accomplish? And at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do. Women do not care. And I'll give you this example. I've used this example before. Maybe you guys have heard it as to why it's so hard to get women to stop using their sexuality for their own gain, or for fun, or for whatever. First off, women have sex for multiple reasons. It's not like us. Men have sex because it was Tuesday. Like, oh look, the wind blew this way. Hey, I see a nice rack. I want to have sex with that chick. Women, like men, is like our operative state is to want to have sex regardless, whether we're starving, whether we're angry, whether we're sad. We're just wired that way. However, um, uh, women have sex for multiple reasons: to get back at their ex, for pleasure, for love, to get a job opportunity. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze again. Man, it's coming. I'm about to sneeze. For many reasons, for pleasure, for uh, because they wanted to one up their friend, because they wanted a job opportunity, for money, uh, whatever reason, multiple reasons, right? And think of it like this, guys, right? And Machiavelli, I get to your super chat 1 second. Think of it like this, guys. During the pandemic, around that time, there was talk that people wanted to limit your consumption of protein, like no more red meat, eat less red meat or get rid of red meat. And then, there's the Impossible Burger and all that stuff. And guys that lift and use red meat for their strength, for as part of their diet, right? The source of their strength, which is protein, kind of got like this uncomfortable feeling like they wanted to burn down every Impossible Burger factory in America. Like they just thought like, wow, these guys are threatening my strength. And what is strength, guys? One of men's primary agencies is our strength. That's what separates us from women. Women will never be as strong as us. If they have to be as strong as us, they have to use steroids and all these methods and all that stuff. But after 15 years old or even 13, our strength just increases and there just stops, right? And here's the thing, just like you had that feeling of someone trying to rob you of your agency and what makes you a man, and what makes you move like different and special. That's how women feel when you try to rob them of their ability to have sexual of their ability to use their sexuality for their own gain, right? It's literally that, and that's the simplest way I could describe it, so you guys can get into a woman's head. It's not so much that I agree or disagree, right? That every man gets to decide for himself, but that's just what it is. So whenever there's talk about slut shaming, think of it like this: it's like people trying to take away red meat from you, or people trying to shut down all the gyms. You know how you felt? You felt like, wow, these people are robbing me of my essence of being a man, the ability to use my strength to move the world, whether it be pick up my wife or pick up my kids or hitch this trailer or move this couch or my job, which a lot of male jobs require strength. My job requires you have to lift 60 pounds up to 60 pounds, right? And I've lifted more. Not that I had to, but I just said I can do this, and that made me feel like I was in control of the situation. So think of it like that, guys. It's just that's how silly it sounds when you slut shame. That doesn't mean you just celebrate sluts and be like, "Yay, everyone should do it all they want all the time." It's just that, yeah, they're not going to give it up that easily. Their ability to do this, right? And then now, now we can, from this point of understanding, start building mental models to deal with this. And from then on, we can have a healthy way of living life, and then you can enjoy sluts for what they are. And if one girl turns out to be a slut and likable and wants to be your slut, then you marry. Or if a girl turns out to not be that big a slut but still wants to be your slut and she'll do whatever you want, then you can be like, oh, okay, well, cool. But slut shaming is a wrong. It's like, hey, it's a loss of frame. It's thinking that women are just gonna give this up, and they're not. And why would they? What's the incentive, right? Let me get. Okay, cool. Okay, sir, you get one of these.
Check your balls.
Machiavelli for the $5. You do private consult? Need to chat somewhere? RP aware? Friends are mostly happy wife, happy life type of guys. Let me know. I have a Discord. If you guys want to join it, I'll put the link here in a second. I have a Discord, and there you guys can come in, ask your questions, and all that stuff. Uh, I'm not doing consulting right now, but the Discord, the private side of the Discord, is $20 a month, and you guys can ask whatever questions we can do. I do video calls for people like that, but anything else is like the general board. Ask your questions there and all that stuff. So I'll put that here in the chat in a second. Thank you for the $5. Um, but yeah, guys, we can go through some of these comments, right? There's a funny "you're welcome." Yeah. Oh wait, when did slut shaming stop? Yeah, of course, of course. She's gonna say that. It never. It's right, but she's right. It never stopped. But really, the most of the slut shaming comes from women. Right. And why do women slut shame more than men? Well, it's because when women are sluts, they lower the price of commitment. Sorry, they increase the price of commitment. Right? So if there's 100 women and 100 men, and 50 of those women want a relationship, but there's 5 women that are just giving it out to everyone, it means that men are just like, "Hey, I don't need to get in a relationship for sex. So I can just sleep with these 5 sluts." So that means the men are going to be less inclined to get in a relationship, meaning that it increases the price of um, um, male commitment, right? Because as a man, as you guys know, a lot of men won't get in a relationship if they're getting sex outside um with no drama and no high cost, right? A lot of guys get into relationships thinking it's about love, and they're just like, no, they just want uh like they want a sure guarantee of sex. Like they want guaranteed sex um nearby. So and accessible almost at all times, right? So that's why women slut shame. It's for power. It's for, hey, like now that there's girls giving it out for almost for free, getting with a guy now, I have to do more than just give him sex. Like I have to actually like I have a burden of performance, and that's just the way it is. All right, going through this. there's a lot of truth to this, but slut shaming can't really take hold without smaller interpersonal communities with shared values, expectations, and responsibilities. Oh, here's another one. The whole we need to form communities. I'll tell you something from a cultural standpoint, right? And all that. And America is just not community based. The thing about communities here, think about why communities were formed. Why is it that in Latin America, in the neighborhoods, people everyone knows each other. Everyone kind of like you go to your neighbor and you give them a bucket of avocados, and then your other neighbor, sorry, your other neighbor knows exactly the names of all your kids and all that stuff and gives them gifts, and then your other neighbor stops by after work and you guys have a beer, like not even planned, like you just have a normal beer. Speaking of beer, oh, she wants a beer too. Look at that. What's up, buddy? What's up? You want a beer? You want some? You want some? He wants a beer. All right. But the truth is, guys, in America, we don't see a lot of that, right? Everyone's in their own world. Everyone's working extra hours, work, work, work. And it's just, America is just not a community based society. I know that a lot of you guys, may have friend groups and all that stuff, but compared, like, I grew up a large portion of my life in Latin America, and there's no comparison. Like, my neighbors worked over all the time. My mom was like, from our trees, giving them fruit and vegetables to my neighbors. Like it was like a very community based thing. Everyone knew everyone. If there were the gossip got around really fast. Whereas one time we lived in America, we lived in an apartment complex in America for a short time, and we didn't know we had seen the lady downstairs face about like one time twice in the 6 months we were there, right? Yeah, and yeah, Wheezy Bird, we're gonna get into game principle and stuff like that with this too. We're talking about the red pill aspect of this, but yeah, you get one of all right, you get one of these, sir.
Thank you so much, best friend.
All right, shaming just drives her up faster than bragging your KD ratio in Call of Duty. Hope you are recovering well. Thanks, man. Yeah, I gave everyone an update this morning, but basically tomorrow I get my stitches removed, and essentially I get told by the surgeon what I can and can't do, what recovery is going to look like from here on out. And it's silly because it's just my finger, but man, I didn't know like losing your pinky made your life so like affected you so much. Like now that I have a cast, um, now that I have a cast, I can't. What do you call it? I can't wash dishes as much. It's hard to excuse excuse me. Sorry. It's hard to wash dishes as much, or I gotta put a bag on my hand for taking a shower. Like I can't sweat too much. Luckily, my hands don't sweat a lot because I just don't have sweaty palms or hands. But I can't get my cast wet, and also like I can't grip on my left hand. I have to like I can grip like I can grip a bottle like this, right? But anything heavier, like I can't. Your pinky is really important for gripping and all that stuff. So I fell from a ladder and broke my finger, broke my pinky, and I didn't know for a month. My pinky was broken. I danced. I played piano. I went to the gym, and it hurt. I'm just like, oh, it's just recovering. I had a laceration. Of course, it's just recovering. I did all of it. I had sex. I dealt with this guy. I was wrangling this guy with a broken finger, and I didn't know. And then it just one day, I went to my doctor just for an annual checkup, and I was like, "Hey, doc, like this shit isn't healing. What's going on?" And she's like, "Yeah, go to a surgeon. Go to a surgeon." And I got an X-ray at the surgeon, and it was broken, super displaced. I'll show you a picture of it. Um, and all that. Maybe on Twitter or on YouTube. I have the X-rays and all that stuff. So yeah, man, he's trying to escape. It's funny because he's really trying hard to escape, but he's. If you guys could see him, I love my Shiba. They're not the most cuddly dogs, but they're just so interesting. Come on, say hi, say hi, say hi, everyone. Look, say hi. Look, covered your eyes. Covered your eyes. I think he's had enough of me. Oh no, that's already all taken care of, Mighty Zane. That's all taken care of. So yeah, workers' comp is now even paying for the time off I took off work. So that check's coming in the mail soon. So yeah. Hey, what's up? Hey, he says hi back. Um, yeah, so that's what happened, guys. But anyway, going back to the topic, and then here's where it gets annoying, guys, because yeah, you could tell people, hey, stop shaming women and all that stuff, but then some asshole always has to say shaming men would be more effective. Shaming men? What do you mean, shaming men? Again, it's the agency thing. You think a guy that's getting laid with impunity is gonna listen to some internet dork who can't get laid or has one wife, you know, only's been with one or two women his whole life? You think he's gonna listen to you? Come on now. Like guys, we guys really got to stop making necessity their virtue, right? If you really think um if you really think that people are going to stop doing what they enjoy doing because someone on the internet said so, then, you're very immature. You haven't grown up, really. Um but let's continue. Uh top 20%, that's a myth. The whole 80/20, that's just a dating app. That's it. That was just a dating app once. Here's the thing. Again, hierarchies, it's a social matrix, right? Like wherever you go, there is a top guy and it's a bottom guy. And usually the top guy, it's all situational. That's all. Um, if you guys stepped into my salsa place, you probably wouldn't be at my level because I know everyone. I have social power. The bartenders know me and everyone, you know, I'm friendly with everyone. I have good connections there, right? So day one, you're not going to be at a higher social status than me, unless you're so high that everyone notices you and you got to be a little celebrity. But then why would you even be going to that place in the first place? You'd be going somewhere else, right? But that's the truth, guys. That's just the way it is. Um, but just like if I went to a place where you were awesome and you were celebrated and everyone knew you and there was women, like I wouldn't be able to, I probably wouldn't be able to be better than you in that space in terms of getting female attention. That's 80/20 shit is just people like little percentages and they like the Pareto principles and all that stuff and just people that don't want to go out there and experience it themselves. Yeah, shame doesn't work. All right. Okay. So, from a game standpoint, you guys already know shame is just all it does is clam up, right? When you're like, remember the world of sexuality with women is a closed off world. Women know a lot of they're going to get judged for being sexual. They know that. All of them know that. They know that inherently, as much as we say there's nothing you can do with slut shaming, there is a thin veneer or a thin layer of I better not tell him that I did this in college because he's gonna see me as this and my reputation is everything, right? So that's what 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 do you want? Sorry, he's looking at me. Um, there is a certain veneer, and when you give the impression, whether indirectly or directly, that you're kind of a shamer and you like to shame women, then they're going to clam up, right? All you're going to be getting for the rest of your life if you stay with that woman is missionary and maybe doggy style and maybe something else on your birthday, right? You've communicated to her that you are judging women. Meanwhile, guys that get it and guys that don't shame women and just, as a matter of fact, encourage for them to be open, get two benefits. Benefit one, they get better sex and more fun woman because she feels at ease and she feels safe around you. She doesn't feel like you're judging her, right? No one likes to be around people where they're constantly judging us. And number two, you get now a better information about her sexual past so you can make a better decision. So instead of finding out 10 years into a relationship that hey, she did this in college and you can't even look her in the eyes now after you've have married, have kids and have a mortgage together, you get to find out within 3 months, right? And that's better. That's a better way of going about relationships. And who knows? And here's a crazy part, right? The crazy part is you may be okay with it, right? you may be okay. As you get older, I don't know how old you guys, but I am slowly starting to care less and less about women's sexual past. Why? Well, there's several reasons. Number one, most women, 99.9% of women do not have a body count like mine. So there's that. I don't feel like any woman, very few women or more are experienced than me, right? Number two, I as long as I'm getting her sexual best, at least within what within reason. Because if she's like, yeah, I want you to like do this heinous sex act, I enjoy it, right? She's offering, so at least I know she's offering me her sexual best or worst, the way you see it, right? But I don't have to participate. I could be like, oh, the fact that she's offering or open with me on this, it means it's a good sign. It means like she likes you. She doesn't see you as inferior to the alpha she used to do that with too. You are part of the alpha guys that she's willing to open up with, right? And it doesn't mean you have to participate. Yeah, like I had a girl said, "Hey, my friend and her boyfriend, they want to like swap with us. Are you down?" And we were just casually dating, like a long term, casual, like just friends or whatever thing. And I was like, "Hey, sorry, I can't be in the same room as another sweaty man, right?" Maybe now it wouldn't bother me, but I'm in a relationship now. But maybe now, who knows? It wouldn't bother me. But in that moment, I was like, "Nah, sorry, can't do it." But in the back of my mind, I'm saying like, this girl is completely, um, this girl is completely comfortable, and to the point where I got her so comfortable, we were playing board games one night, and she had organized a dinner party for her friends, and I was there playing board games. They're band geeks, so they're kind of a weird, different set of humans, so to speak. And then she just started describing like my dick, like just to her friends, male and female. Like, hey, by the way, Nuke's dick is like this, and it's shaped like that, and it does this, and it's like, and I'm just like, I was like red, but you can't see it because I'm brown. But I'm like, wow, that's what you get, guys. It could get a little uncomfortable sometimes, but some women, whether they're from the church or just normal looking girls, some women have deeply repressed sexuality. And if you can bring that out of them and not make them feel judged, they will value you incredibly, right? Exactly like Spot Take says, shaming women does not benefit men. It does not, right? And that's a great statement. A great statement. I might use it for a tweet. If you don't mind, Spot Text, can I use it as a tweet? Um, um, So, yeah, guys, it doesn't help you. Even if you want a nice girl that isn't a turbo slut or whatever, shaming women does not help your game. It does not help you get you any closer to a good woman, right? Nothing. It does absolutely nothing for anyone. All it does is everyone's going to label you that guy. That guy that, yeah, you're going to get girls that are just pretenders, girls that had a crazy past and are gonna hold out till like 15 years in to tell you, "Hey, yeah, I had a gangbang in college." Whereas there's guys like me and some of you guys in the chat and you guys in the chat that they'll get this a month in, and you know what your response is gonna be? That's it? A girl like you? I thought you were more wild than that. But whatever, that's pretty vanilla. And guess what? She's gonna be like, "Fuck, this guy's insane. I need to get up to his level. So what do you want me to do? You want me to get my friend to come over?" And boom, now you're getting her sexual best, and she's cooking for you, and she's cleaning, and you were so fixated on body count and whether she was a slut or not that you just didn't think, hey, maybe you want a slut too, but you just want her to be nice and pleasant. And you'll realize that a lot of guys don't need, women that are like super pious and religious and sex negative. You need a slut. We all need a slut. It's just we don't want her to bang every other guy in town and then want to be with us and give us her sexual worst, her just missionary. We want the disgusting shit she did with other guys, or at least offer. So, $5, you get one of these, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, best friend!
What if you shamed Machiavelli for the $5? What if you shamed already? How do you backtrack? And if it's your wife, how would you feel about her wearing skimpy outfits? Um, well, every man is different, right? Like, depends on the place. Let me blow myself up a little bit. It depends on the place and the and the environment, right? Like if you're meeting my parents, right, I don't need you to look like you're going to right. But for me personally, I come from a land of very thick, curvy women, and they all showed it off, right? And it wasn't showing off like, you know, butt cheeks out, but it was just like they wore tighter clothing and accentuated their curves and all that stuff. So it depends on what you call skimpy. But let's say for the record that skimpy is just showing cleavage, showing ass, showing thighs, and all that stuff, right? Um, I don't know, just if you already slut shamed, if it's your wife, right? Um, you just have to start complimenting her, but start running game, right? It's just go back to game. Like your wife may be like, you may have made your wife feel uncomfortable sexually, right? But here are things you have to do now. You have to let her know that you see her in a sexual way, that you see her as a slut, but that you still love her. Right? So in bed, the language you use, you have to tell her like, "Hey, you're my slut," and you have to first off, your sexual performance, you may have to up it a little bit, meaning that you have to be a little disgusting in bed, right? You need to be leading sexually. You need to be the Diddy to her Cassie, so to speak. So, um, you need to do that. In terms of game and all that stuff, be charming, keep running game on your wife, feigned indignation, make up drama out of nowhere, all this stuff you need to do to get her like kind of hot and bothered, angry, emotionally upset, happy again, and all that stuff. Right. Tell her, and then once she starts coming around, tell her like, hey, you would look sexy in this, you would look sexy in that. Right. And then, once in a while, text her like, hey, I can't stop thinking about you naked and all that stuff. Like, just, you know, let her know that you want her and that you have to lead sexually, right? Like you're a man. You are supposed to be the disgusting animal in all of this. You have to be irreprehensible sometimes with women, right? And there are times where I've done sexual acts with women where it was pushing it a little bit, right? And nothing too crazy, right? But I was pushing it, and then they would sit down and tell me like, "Hey, I don't know how I felt about that." And then the next couple of times they would ask for that. They would literally say, "Hey, can you do this?" And that's just the way it is, guys. Women sometimes that whole leading thing and be a man and masculine. Most of it is the bedroom and be more disgusting than she is, and that way you'll show her like, man, my man is a dog. Like he does crazy things to me, and that's how you get women to open up. Yeah, this is how most men end up in sexless marriages. Yeah, it's because they shame women subconsciously, sometimes consciously, but a lot of times subconsciously. Yeah, and you guys have to get over it. First off, they're probably lying. It's probably higher because if a woman's willing to tell you her body count and that like quickly or just that proudly, they're probably lying, right? They're trying to get a reaction. It's probably a shit test, right? The answer to a woman's body count when they tell you it's a shit test is that's it, man. You're a prude. Or like, "Hey, that's it? Something wrong with you? Like, do you guys not like you? I think you're cute. I don't understand." Something like that, right? Just pretend that, like, she's just not that you're so sexually experienced that you can't believe that she's not on your level. And then they'll guess what they'll do next? They'll try to qualify to you by saying, "Well, you know, um, it's not the numbers, the quality, whatever." They'll start qualifying to you and all that. So yeah, your subconscious is telling you don't like sex, and that's not true. You love sex. You just have a Madonna whore complex, and you've been taught that women are pure creatures that don't want any of this stuff. But no, women are equally disgusting as we are. So, yeah, and that's pretty much it on this stuff. It's just you can't control the universe because you're you're just because you know a little bit of intersexual dynamics, right? And you're not going to stop attractive people from having sex, right? Like I put in the work to be in shape. I put in the work to get over rejection. I put in the work to be charming. I put in the work to all this work. So maybe a girl can look at me and say, that guy's kind of cute. Maybe I'll let him talk to me. I put in that work, right? And I'd be damned if someone tell me that they can't do whatever I want within the confines of the law, right? That's just not how it works. That's not how humans work, and it will never be how humans work, right? So yeah, um, if we go up the list here as another tweet that's kind of one of those tweets. It's just like if women had total power to mate with whoever they want, humanity would be 100% retarded psychopaths in 3 generations. Okay, cool. We would devolve into zoo animals. Women absolutely do not select the best genes. They select for physical attractiveness, confidence, status, willingness to use force, personality, whatever that means, right? Women are simply not turned on by studious, cautious. Okay, this is the part like where he doesn't understand hypergamy, even though he's literally done a show with the guy who brought it into light, Rolo Tomasi, who understands and has explained this so many times. But I guess we cannot we cannot get there. We just cannot understand. Like, why is it so hard to understand this stuff? For the love of Christ, even smart people, guys, hypergamy has two sides. Women like studious, safe engineers. It depends on what part of their life are they in. An 18-year-old girl probably doesn't care about studious engineers. She's all, hey, I just want to have fun. I'm 18, right? But when she's 27, she's like, crap, I got to settle down. Let me find a guy that's has a little bit of these qualities that would make him a good engineer and studious and smart, right? So, yeah, um, that's a good beer. But yeah, guys, it's alpha fucks, beta bucks, but that can be the same man. You don't have to be a complete unhinged psychopath to date women. You just need to look at what these psychopaths are doing, use it within the confines of the law, because they usually broke, in trouble, can't do anything right in life, and just apply it to yourself. And you'll realize that yes, you may not be getting an influx of women as much as they are, but you have a nice, comfy job. You're getting your sexual needs met, and you're also valued member of society. So it's just like you can have it all, and that HoeMath is trying to convince you you can't have it all. You can't have it all, right? Do I look particularly dangerous as a man? No, right? But um if I'm dating a girl and she sees my scars, I can make up a story about how I got them, and she'll be turned on just because I took a book out of like some guy who's just got out of jail explains his scars or something to women and gets them laid or whatever. Right? I just take what works and I use it for me within reason, and it works. You don't have to be like a lose hope or think that remember, alpha is a mindset. It isn't a demographic. You don't just be a good at what you do and be studious and a good member of society, and automatically you get zero sex, zero pussy. Like that's not how that works, right? You go through life, you learn that women don't need your money, don't need your parental investment for the time being, that they want fun. So be fun, lead with fun. It doesn't mean that eventually, as a woman becomes close to you, that it's just going to be a constant pipeline of just drama and near emotional abuse just to keep her like with you. No, that's not what happens. What happens is women throughout the relationship, if they like you and they want to stick around, right? They will slowly bid for more comfort signals. Hey, will you meet my parents? Hey, will you meet my friends? Hey, can we do this cute little kind of lame relationship thing like a pumpkin patch, right? They will start bidding for more out of you relationship wise. And it is up to you whether you want to do it or not, right? Um, and that's how it is, guys. It's really like that. It's just being well adjusted and just being smart, not losing hope because women like salivate over Christian Grey. I'm like, yeah, well, okay, well, instead of getting mad that about these books and how that women are so enthralled by them, how about this? Why? Ask why. Why do women like these type of men? Why? And you think, oh, it's because the dominance. They like to be sexually dominated. Great. Now you know sexual domination. Women like that. You don't have to throw away, your engineering career and become a, a, a menace to society just so women can like you, right? You just have to borrow the good parts or the effective parts from men while still keeping your awesome, comfy, well-to-do job that's giving you the lifestyle you've always wanted, right? So yeah, we got a 199 Frito. Are you dating? Oh, you get one of these.
Thank you so much, best friend!
Frito 199. Are you dating pearly things? Need the scoop? Yes, I have been for a while. I almost gave you two. But yeah, it's just, like, we can't do this forever, guys. We can't just keep trying to hold women accountable. We cannot just keep trying to um be doom and gloom and say, hey, like, hey, buy ammo. Like, really? Like, oh, guys, women like exciting men, not like me. So society's over. Like, no, dude, no. No, I'm getting laid. You're probably getting laid. My neighbor's getting laid. We're all getting laid. Maybe sometimes not at the rate we would want, but it really it's just like how many times we have to say this stuff? Alpha is a mindset, not a demographic. You don't just go to jail and all of a sudden you're an alpha, right? You don't just get a tattoo and you're an alpha, right? Those things are downstream of that. And yes, there are m- women are hybristophiliacs, right? Like they like a good portion of them like the criminals and the crime dramas, and they like donate to Luigi Mangione and all that stuff, right? But at the same time, right, there's plenty of women out there that do like excitement, but if a charming engineer, a charming doctor, or a charming whatever physical whatever you are, right, gave them the same feelings or enough, right, then it would be more than enough for them to like you and be into you. But it isn't. So we got a $10 for CHD. Uh,
Thank you so much, best friend!
Man, this new way of these new super chats are like, oh, it's because I have this here on the screen. So okay. Hey Nuke, as we discussed that I fit the rakish Johnny Depp archetype, but I also fit the K-pop archetype, which girls liked. How do I embrace that archetype without being too feminine? Well, dude, like when it comes to like certain style types work that could be seen as feminine because like the Johnny Depps and the K-pop, for me, K-pop is like they wear suits and or kind of very zany clothing. I mean, I could look it up right now. K-pop male performers. Uh, yeah, it just seems they wear like kind of like One Direction and all that stuff. But it seems like it revolves around suits, leather jackets. Actually, it's kind of stylish, oversized jackets and all that stuff. There's only one way to offset that with style, and that's less or two ways: less bright clothing, and number two, muscle, adding dimension to your frame. So if you wear something like a suit with a thin tie that could be seen as like K-pop-ish and all that stuff with the hairstyle, right? Hairstyle has a lot to do. If you're just have these jacked forearms, veiny forearms, it will elevate the look even more because you have that refinement, but also that brutishness, right? So it's like that. That's very attractive to women in terms of dressing. Like seeing a guy that's wearing something that could be seen as a little bit feminine or boyish, but then you're absolutely jacked in it, right? And make sure the clothes fit you and get everything fitted, or things that you have to get fitted if necessary. And then you will complete the look by offsetting the kind of feminine part of the look with masculine brutishness, and it'll create a nice balance. So that's what I would do. Same thing with like rakishness, like Johnny Depp and stuff like that. Same thing. So thanks for that. That's a great question. Thanks, Siege. Um, yeah, but yeah, guys, like, where was I? So yeah, the doom and gloom, right? And then afterwards, like, hey, buy my course. I'm like, why would I buy my course? It's over, right? You told me to give up. Why would I buy your course? essentially, guys, um, it's like Spot Take says, slut shaming does not help men. It will never help men. It just gets you laid less. Women will avoid you. You'll be known as that guy. It's just gonna frustrate you. You're not gonna get your needs taken care of sexually, and you're not gonna be able to have a healthy relationship with your wife. That's not to say that you should be excited about women being terrible, but remember, here's some things that you got to remember. What women say online, whether it be lying high or lying low about their body count, is not it's just words, right? Remember, they have to create engagement to get paid, to get likes, followers, clicks. They will say whatever, right? I trust me, I know people that will do literally whatever it takes in order to make money. YouTube, Instagram, all these apps, it's not like us where we have a job and we know exactly how much we're going to get paid. With YouTube and Instagram, you have no idea. Like 1 month you can make $10,000, another month you can make 2,000. You have no idea, right? All you know is that at some point, you're gonna get paid something, and that sometimes that's not good enough, which creates anxiety, which creates, hey, I gotta do crazy stuff, or or else I'm gonna fall into irrelevancy. So, what you see on the internet a lot of the times is just people trying to stay relevant in spite of apps not being great sources of pay. Everyone has a dream to be an influencer or just sit at home and make silly faces or talk about nothing for hours and get paid. But the truth is these apps are not stable, right? Everyone likes stability more than they think. Knowing how much you're going to get paid at work is nice. I mean, you can plan vacations, you can plan retirement accounts, you can plan HSAs, you can plan big family events because you know at some point you know how much you're going to get paid. You know. But if you don't know, you get a little bit desperate and you start creating lies or saying whatever it takes so you can keep the lights on. And I want you guys to know that before you guys get all mad about what women say online. They're just trying to create engagement, right? And the truth is, for me, that's what I have been able to avoid for the most part. Yes, I do say stuff on Twitter that's a little bit, rage baity, right? Over sometimes, and honestly, it's not rage based because it's true. It is true. Like, come on now. Um, but at the same time, I don't have to sell my soul or be a locale. Like, what I'm saying is just, it is what it is. This is this. And I figured a way to do that. And I'm lucky. I consider myself extremely lucky that I don't have to pay a locale tax. YouTube, on the other hand, I don't know. You may have to pay a locale tax on YouTube and all that stuff. But yeah. But yeah, guys. Um, you can't slut shame. It's not the end of the world. Don't believe what women say online. Everything they do is for attention. Slut shame women, you're gonna get just missionary sex for the rest of your life. And you're gonna get a sex negative one. Stop slut shaming women, and you're gonna get some of the best sex, and you'll always be seen as that guy. Women will come back to you after they leave you because they go to their boyfriends, which are slut shamers, and then they're like, "Yeah, I like the sex, I love him, but like, I feel like he's judging me constantly for my past, or he doesn't want, like, I can't be myself around him." I'm like, okay, cool, right? Get your own body count up, and you'll see over time and age and all that teaches you that, like, hey, like, yeah, what you cared about is not getting her sexual best and her past behavior coming to haunt you in the form of maybe an STD, a baby, kids out, being a single mom, a popular porn video out there, her having had sex with a friend of yours or something like that. Those are the things that you're really worrying about. It's not a number. It's just anything that's going to come back to bite you, right? So, what new case me right now? Why do I hate you, dude? I don't hate you. But yeah, guys. Anyway, you guys are welcome to ask me questions and all that stuff. If not, I'll end the chat. But thank you guys for the super chats. If you guys would like to send more, totally down. But um, yeah, I mean, HoeMath's been. We've had a couple exchanges on Twitter. Nothing big, right? See super chat. Did I skip your super chat? Oh crap! Sorry, dude. I didn't see it for some reason. Maybe I looked away or something.
Thank you so much, best friend.
Machiavelli with the $2. Drop an email in the chat. $150 for 30 minutes. Okay. All right. I'll give you my email. Um, and we could do something on Zoom or something. There you go, guys. And if you guys need to reach out for me for business reasons too, the rest of you guys can do that. But all right, Machiavelli, yeah, we'll talk business, and I think I could get you a better deal than that. We could talk, right? But yeah, thank you. Sorry, I didn't see your super chat. Maybe I looked away or something, or just didn't update. So, hey, man, no, you're the man. Thank you. What a disappointment. Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, he's entertaining, right? But the thing is, we're not here. Sorry, 1 second, guys. The thing is, it's entertaining, right? And like we always remember our most entertaining teachers in school, the guys, the teachers that were the most fun, that made learning fun and class fun and all that. So we always remember those guys fondly, right? And the thing is with these types is that yes, it's fun, the graphs and all that, it maps it on your head, right? But at the same time, the it's we forget the inner work here, the stuff that you have to do in your heart and your head, right? The accepting that you can't change things, accepting that life is just going to do what it does, accepting that you yourself have to focus on yourself, accepting that yes, a lot of people are saying it's the end of the world, but this country was here long before you and it will be here long after you. You're not that important. Your morals don't matter. What matters is what is necessary to survive. No one cares about your morality. Um, yeah. Oh yeah, Jesus. If you guys give me a second, I can find it. It's somewhere in my laptop. I could probably play it for you guys. Um, hold on. It's got to be somewhere in here. I know exactly the one you're talking about, which is funny. Um, I don't. Is it in my downloads or is it in my reactions? Every man has a reactions folder. Man, it's somewhere. Pictures. It's got to be in my. Man. Oh, I'm in screenshots. It's probably reaction pictures. Okay. Jesus. I'll find it. Yeah, I'll find it somewhere. I had it. I love that meme, by the way. Yeah, it's somewhere in here. But I remember it's just I remember it's like blah blah blah. Stop trying to save the world and get a hobby or something. I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, you guys can't change the world, right? You can't change um women as a whole. They've always been the way they are. The thing is that things have changed, technology, and starting be a little mature, right? Because the same reason I can get a taxi for my hamburger from a McDonald's, right? The technology is there for me to order a taxi right now for my McDonald's. It's also there's technology that will allow women to sleep with many men. And you may think, like at some point that you're going to be unable to love women or deal with them or even have any type of relationship with them because of this fact. You won't be able to get over the fact. But the thing is, you have a sex drive, man. You have a sex drive. Even if you don't ever want a relationship with women, you have a sex drive. Boobs are always going to look good till the day you die, right? You're always going to be looking at women, right? And there's one thing that me and the old man disagree with, right? He says that women are better, or men and women are better together than they are apart, right? The whole like complementary, right? And to me, that only works if it's necessary. Like, hey, if survival is involved, women I don't mean survival like there's like savages at the door or something. I like survival like, hey, maybe a economic depression, or hey, maybe a war, maybe a small famine, or maybe a natural disaster. Yeah, in those moments, men and women, awesome, working hard together. Men go out and rescuing women and children, and women cooking and tending to the dead. Like in those situations, men and women absolutely work great together, right? They put aside their differences, their need, their selfishness to keep humans alive and well and all that. But when things are well and chill and there's no real threat um to survival, to the point where like we're so far removed from a survival scenario we don't even know what violence is, or we've never been punched in the face or had a gun in our face or anything like that, right? um Truly, um men and women really aren't better together, you know. Both of them are coming from a place of me, and it just takes a lot of discipline for men and women to get together and work it out, and that's why we're here too, right? It's because there are certain things men have to get over. And one of the things I'm asking you, or you should get over, is the slut shaming, right? Because one of the things that's going to keep the relationship awesome is her being very sexually available for you. And if you let her be herself sexually, the true slut that she is, and trust me, all women can get there, that will help your relationship, right? You have to put your part too. You can't just plant your flag down and be like, women are all flawed and I'm awesome. That's not how this works. Like, my morality is better than your morality. No, women are people. They have their own motivations. They've been tricked by just like you were tricked to think that being a nice guy works. They were tricked for a couple things too. Are there women that are insufferable? Of course. Are there women that are sex negative just because they're, yeah, of course. But there's truly women that, like, I could see it in their eyes that, you know, it kind of sucks sometimes, right? There are women that you give them good sex and they're terrified of you. They're like, I can't, like, this is too much. Like, I don't, I don't like this. Like, I like the sex, but this is just crazy. Like, you're one of those guys that'll leave me tomorrow if they had a chance. Like, I don't want to be just another girl in your rotation. And then there's girls that like, um, that are the opposite, that are just like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm a slut. I don't want to, I've never had this a bit. Like, I dated a girl that used to be fat, and then she got thin, and then I was like one of the first guys she was started sleeping with when she got thin or hot. And I think, after a while she started noticing, man, this is awesome. Like, I don't want to get in a relationship. I broke up with my boyfriend. I'm hot now and I'm having a blast. I'm getting free drinks. Men are taking me to nicer places. And I'm generally getting better sex, better quality men. And I'm happy for the time being, right? Eventually she might be like, oh, this sucks. This is too much. I just want to settle. But uh yeah, and that's true. Like, yeah, like Viking Dad of Wisdom, like, you don't understand how much bland sex sucks. And trust me, every guy's had this, not every guy, but a lot of guys have had the experience where they finally bag like an 8 out of 10 girl or a very hot chick, right? And then she's a starfish in bed. And it's like tragic almost. You're like, wow. I thought this was different. I thought I was gonna finally have like awesome sex, but no. The 6 out of 10 girl, slightly 20 pounds chubby, can rock your world and be fun, exciting, and always be ready, while the 8 out of 10 girl can be like a starfish in bed and just, don't not make no noise, don't talk, just lay there. And, I'm not saying all 8 out of 10s are like that. I'm not saying all 6 out of 10s are awesome. Just saying, there's layers to this. There's more than just, hey, um, you you know, slut shaming is never going to get you closer to your happiness, your goals with women, right? Yeah, until checkout time. Yeah, I like how you say checkout time. Like, there's a hotel involved. Like, yeah. Um, but yeah, guys, like, it just it is what it is. I'm sorry that guys really believe this. I'm sorry that, even me once for a very short period of time that actually, I don't think I ever believed that. I think I was just having too much fun to the point where I just, I was mad, but then I would go on a date with a girl and had a good time, and then I'd forget. Right? Now, is it women's turn? Is it women's problem to make you like them? Yeah, you can't just go out there and like them for them, right? Like, they have, like, it's the Patrice O'Neal joke, right? Like, he says, "Hey ladies, just because you're sexy doesn't mean you owe me, like, you have to let me have sex with you, right?" And the same thing, just because I'm lovable and charming doesn't mean you are. Doesn't mean I have to like you back. See what I'm saying? Like that's the joke. It was such a good joke. It's one of those best jokes of all time. But it is women's job to make you like them. I know a lot of them don't think that. They just keep nagging us and all that stuff and about like stupid stuff. I'm like, ladies, you do know that your burden of performance is to make us like you forever. Like, you could have bad days, but you have to make us like you. Because if not, like guys, especially the guys you like, are not gonna tolerate a bitchy wife for very long, right? Oh, she did. She did. She definitely complained, but not in a like nagging way, just like in a sad way. Like someone that just found out a dark truth or found out they were adopted. Like we had an intimate conversation once, and she was like, I found out, like now men. Like I asked her, like, do men treat you better now and all that stuff, and she was like, yeah. She kind of looked really sad. I'm like, it's women's black pill. Women's black pill is that their I got dog hair all over me. That their looks really determine how they get treated in life. And I know it sucks, but hey, I didn't see them complaining when they were getting free stuff for being hot. So yeah. Um, but yeah. So cool. Awesome. Ooh boy. So any other questions or comments? We got 39 of you guys in here. If you guys would like to leave a like, please do. Share it if you can. Subscribe to the channel. Get me to 3,000 viewers. That'd be nice. Follow me on. Let me put my Substack thing in here. I have a lot of snot in my nose. Let me There we go. All right, guys. I'm on my 67th article on Substack, and yeah, so 67 essays on Substack. So $7 a month. I'm writing like 3 a week. You guys are welcome to go in there and go in there and check it out for yourselves and all that. But Breezy Bird, this weekend made me appreciate my girl being promiscuous to me when we went out dancing for the first time this past week. Yeah, guys, women are sexual creatures, right? They're not. And here's a common misconception: like guys, dumb guys, like comparison guys that try to use wordplay and all that stuff. They're like they always say like women are hornier than men, or men are hornier than women. Like no, it's not the same metric. It's not two bar graphs or 2 meters next to each other about horniness, right? They're horny. It's different. It's just different, right? Their orgasms are different. The way we perceive each other is different, right? And guys that can't get over the fact that women think and act differently kind of try to constantly use men as a measuring stick for women, and then they use women as a measuring stick. Like women will use a measuring stick for men against their own gender, right? So if I'm a man and I tend to like not cry, which most of us like. We can't even cry if we try. Like we'll see something sad, and we'll be like, our eyes will get watery, but like our testosterone won't let us cry. We cannot access our emotions like you ladies. It's just there's a block, right? And that's not our fault. It's just being a man. Um, the fact that we can't cry like you, you'll measure that inability to cry against your own gender and be like, oh, I cry all the time and he doesn't, so something's wrong with him. And same thing with men. Men will be like, hey, I want to fuck all the time and she doesn't, something's wrong with her. Or vice versa, like, hey, she wants to fuck more than me actually, and try to be mysterious and all that. And I'm like, no, it's different. There's something else there that it's not even the same meter. The same. It's like you have a like. Have you guys ever been to a switchgear electrical panel where you see all these meters and all stuff, or whatever panel and all, and a power plant or whatever, and you see all these meters, right? People think the two, like, it's the same meter measuring the same thing. Two different meters measuring the same thing, which is whatever parameter, right? Which in fact, it's like 1 meter is measuring like kilowatts and the other meter is measuring temperature of the room. Like completely different things. That's how sexuality is, right? women's sexuality is different. That's why guys who know game and the PUAs of old understood that earlier. And like they say, like Nick Krauser said, PUAs have done more for behavioral psychology or evolutionary psychology than decades of scientific research, because we were in the field looking at what works and what didn't. And right now, you saying, "Hey, men are more like men are better at this than women, or women are lack this." I'm like, no, women are horny. Women will fly across the world to have sex with you, right? They will do it, right? But why? It's not because how you look, right? Most of the time, it's not how you look. It's how you made her feel. For men, it's just like, hey, I want to have sex with that chick. Why? I don't know. Wind's blowing. Yeah. It's just we're different. It's not that one or the other. It's just like we're just different. And that, you know, so yeah. All right, guys. I think you've had enough. Have you guys haven't had enough of me? You guys had enough, or do you want more? I think you guys had enough of me. Yeah, and I think I should probably get out Twitter and all that. So, but anyways, guys, I'll go ahead and let you guys go. We got 491 viewers in here, 33 on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys being here, and thank you for the super chats. I appreciate them. Um, and Machiavelli, I'll answer your email. If not tonight, it will be early in the morning. I have to go to bed early because I have a medical appointment for my hand. So, you guys have a good night, and appreciate your time. Talk to you guys later.